So in this chapter, we're going to talk about what a currency pair actually is. What is it made up of? How is it priced? We're going to get into all of that. So you've heard me mention before, euro, yen, euro, dollar. The way that that is written is first with EUR, that represents the euro, then a vertical kind of slash line here, then USD. So we have our base pair and our quote pair. Your base pair is always the first pair. Your second pair is always the quote pair. Just like a quote, that's what they call it. So again, what we're trading is the exchange rate between these two currencies. How many euros, well, for 1 euro, how many US dollars can I get? That's what the exchange rate is between this. Now, we've got plenty of other currency pairs to trade. The dollar is number 1. The euro is number 2. If you look at this chart, this is from that central bank survey, and you guys can pull this up on your PowerPoint if you download it below, and you can really blow this up, or go read the whole survey and you'll see this for yourself. But what you can see here is they're comparing 2019 in red to 2016. The most traded currency pair was the dollar. It went from 87.6% to 88% of the entire Forex market. The second was the euro, which was from 31 to 32%, not that big of a change, but the yen made a big change. It was at 16% of all trading, and it bumped up to 21%. Oh, excuse me, that was backwards. It was 21%, and it dropped to 16% from 2016 to 2019. And then here, for the emerging market currencies, you can see they actually increased as well, which means that these weird currencies, not weird if you live there, I'm not saying your currency is weird, they're just not as popular. The peso, the Singapore dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the Hong Kong dollar. Now, take a look at that. The Hong Kong dollar went from 1.7%, doubled to 3.5%. Again, showing Hong Kong and China becoming more popular. And of course, you can see the pound here at 12%. That's lower than the euro and lower than the yen, but GBP is still a big player, but only about 12.8%. So these are all the different currencies that we can see exchange rates between. We can have exchange rates between the New Zealand dollar and the Swiss franc. We can have exchange rates between the Canadian dollar and the Chinese yuan. We can have exchange rates between the Hong Kong dollar and the euro. Every pair can be mixed and matched, and we can trade most of those currency exchange rates. Where it gets a little technical, but I'll tell you guys this now, some of these pairs have lower volume. They are not being traded as much. For example, Euro CHF is way down here at only 1% of all currency transactions. Euro CHF, when you guys continue to move through the content, is one of the least favorited pairs by me and people that trade with us at ASFX. It is not a volatile pair. It doesn't move very much. So you want to stay focused on these pairs that are moving. Things involving the dollar, things involving the euro, things involving the pound, things involving the yen. Those are the currencies that are going to move the most. You're going to get in and out the easiest. You won't see crazy volatile movement, and they're going to trend for you, and that's where we find our moneymaker. So now, let's look at this chart. You can see we have a price at the bottom of 1.17209. This chart is Euro USD. That name of the chart is always going to be in the top left. And what this is showing us is the movement of the exchange rate between 1 euro to US dollars. So what you're seeing is that if you were to give 1 euro at the time of taking this picture, you would get 1.17209 dollars, $1.17 basically. But if you were to look back previously, the price was higher at 1.19, 1.1 1.2, 1.3 even. So that exchange rate is constantly changing, and that's what we're going to be trading. So think about it. This is a global market. Like I said, it's being traded at all hours of the day throughout the entire week. The Asian market, the London market, the New York market. That price just can't shut off. It can't stop. We've got companies in Japan. They're up. They're doing business while we're sleeping in America. So the market has to continue even when we're not there. But I wanted you to see this chart that you see. If you don't know already, the chart is showing you the history of that exchange rate's price. Has it been moving up? Has it been moving down? Has it been moving sideways? And that previous price action movement, what you see going on back here, that is what we're going to use to determine what should happen in the future, and that's where we're going to look to find trades. So now let's talk about how the Forex market is priced.